Good day. Ira Epstein, and here we are, May 8th, 2025. Hard to believe, isn't it? Interesting day today. Wow, you can see from the stock market, a lot of green behind me, but not everything. Netflix was down $10. BND was down. Uranium was a fraction lower. Gold got hit pretty good. The dollar took off to the upside. Movie theater didn't go up at all. So it's not a day where everything just picked up and ran and kept running. What am I talking about? Well, as you know, the big event that happened today is the president made a deal with the United Kingdom. As I kept saying to you here, there were two low-hanging fruit, as I saw it. India and the UK. The UK was the easier deal. He went for that, and I applaud it. It proves he can make a deal, he can negotiate, he can give up a few things, he can take other things, and it was great. Boeing came out of it in great shape, as about 30 airplanes are going to be bought over time, $10 billion deal. The president also did a couple of other things. But before I'm ahead of myself, let's discuss what we saw. Do I know this is the final? No, I'm giving you what I saw, what I read most of the day, and the framework. First, I don't care if you call it a letter of understanding, a memorandum of understanding. That's what I think it is. It is not a finalized trade deal. That's going to take a little more time. However, while it takes time, I think that both parties are acting as though they don't have to negotiate further. What they've agreed to, they're not renegotiating. That was very much the feeling I got out of it. And the memorandum will become the trade deal. Could there be things added? Yes. Taken away? Yes. But probably not what's been agreed to. And I think that's what's so important. Next, the 10% tariff that we were told would be on everything is not. For an example, Rolls-Royce cars can come in. I'm being funny, but I'm not being funny. Does that mean it applies to Italy with Ferraris? Did it apply to Aston Martins? You see what I'm getting at. There's a lot of cars, high-end, for example, like a Rolls, that do they come in? Does a Lamborghini come in if it's not made in America? I can go on and on. So there was give and take on it, but just about everything gets a 10% tariff. I don't know if Rolls-Royce engines for aircraft, are they exempt? You know, in the past, one of the things that we worked with our partners was parts for airplanes because we're one of the world major people on it. There weren't tariffs on the parts. We'll find out if, in fact, that is more of what's going on. So it's exciting. It's a framework. Now they've got to go down the list. Remember, there's 165, 175 countries over time, and time is running out unless the president extends, that July timeframe deal. But I appreciate what it is. We'll find out more details in the coming days, but this is your first done deal. And the markets responded accordingly. I think everybody thought on the first deal we'd get a rally, but now where do you go? The other things I was looking at today is CNBC was interviewing the director today. Earlier, I think it was earlier in the week, they did the Port of Los Angeles. Now they're doing the opposite, San Diego's area, Long Beach to be specific. I got to tell you, the amount of ships coming in have shrunk from China. The impact of it remains to be seen. The threat the president made to Mattel was very telling. You know, Ford said they're going to have to raise the price of cars, 2000, and, the president took exception with that, but it's what it is. But Mattel's statement was, well, they'll just import toys from elsewhere. What they should do is be quiet. Well, we'll have to find out what we can do in sourcing. That's the thing you want to say. This president's first reaction to Mattel in front of the whole world was, go on, source them. We'll put 100% tariff on anything you bring in. I think that's exactly the message he's sending. He wants to hear that you're going to do your best to get everything done in the United States. If you can't, as a corporate CEO, why don't you be quiet? This is not the guy you want to take on and do that. And while you want to tell it to your shareholders, maybe there's a better way to do this. I'm not the CEO. You are. All right. So you can see the action behind me. Now, when we look at AI, things went up today. You saw that the president is not going to go with President Biden's tiered method on chips, software, and the like. You saw a lot of CEOs today, again, AI people and so on, in front of the Senate today, answering questions as this is all trying to be hammered out. What's the best way to handle semiconductors, our software, so that we maintain as America a lead, but we get other people to use our product. If you shut them down, China's waiting in the wings. They're going to take everything you don't get. If you don't believe that, boy, are you mistaken. That is what they're doing. China is wrapping its arms around Russia. The two of them are going to be bosom buddies. You've got a lower low, a higher high right here. You see that in the swing line. The market wasn't quite able to get back to the 18-day average of closes, which I call the line in the sand. So it did keep, in any regard to it, the bias to the upside, but it still doesn't have that pattern of higher lows, higher highs. The resistance is waiting for the market right here at 23.99. When you come up to the momentum, did you lose the embedded reading? Well, numbers are both over 80 here. Numbers back here were both over 80. The day before, they weren't. The day before that, they were. So it lost the reading, got it back. That's called a bear trap because you're getting the longs out in that, and then the market pops on the people. I've been there, done that. There's no way around it. Most times when it's lost, it's lost. If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. That's how I've always viewed it. In SFM, well, Sprouts Farmers Market certainly didn't like this deal. You can see how it's heading down. Big support waits for the market here, but it got to its objective the other day. And that's what we were looking for. Once it lost its bullish embedded momentum, let me walk you to this. This is why my course on enhanced Bollinger Bands I think is so important. This was your warning. You lost the reading. I teach you come out of the market. Why? Because the odds now favor before you get through that high, you'll make a run at the 18-day average unless, like we just saw in AI, you re-embed, all right? And if you do, you do. But if you'd been long, it's a pretty good spot. I think the best spot was take off some of the trade up there and then the rest of it yesterday. Now here's what, Now here's what happens if you overstay your hand. Watch this. Kaboom. Momentum, in my belief, I can't prove it to everybody out there, but I know what I see. I've watched this now I've probably been playing with momentum out of my career 4 decades, maybe 4.5 decades. And I believe it does lead price most of the time. Not all the time, but the vast majority. Embedded reading in AVGO, still coming up here. Now, you've hit your 100-day average. That's the first resistance. The second's the upper Bollinger Band. I think the pros took some money off the table. Sometimes you don't need to be that greedy. Remember, you hit it up here. If you bought back on a break, you're coming out again right through there, but you're lightening up, not adding on per se. In Google, well, we had that monster break yesterday. Now the market kicked itself back up a little bit today, but the game has changed. I mean, the threat, how much money does Google make on its search engine? And, you know, what people aren't getting right with Google is what makes you think they're staying the way they are? What makes you think they won't develop their AI to do something within Google that we all are used to and loving? I don't want to go to a new search place. Let's call it that way. I prefer that they have the AI and everything. I'm not completely in agreement that this game is anywhere near over, as some people are saying on TV. I don't buy into that. In Netflix, it's been a heck of a run. The fact on a bullish day like today that you couldn't be up, take that as a warning sign. I didn't say it's the end of the bull trend. Markets that when you get these bull pieces of news, generally everything goes. The ones that don't go are telling you there's a problem. Sprouts, Netflix, they're on that list right now to me. Robinhood even made it to the upper Bollinger Band. Overbought, I think the pros should be taking money off, but the volatility, they got to love this as a trading firm. And interest rates went back up today on this news. Why not? If you think of interest rates, well, if things are getting better, as today's market mentality is, well, then I'm going to add yield. And that's what they did. But I'm warning you, you haven't seen the impact of the tariffs. You're about to see it in the next couple of weeks. And that data is going to start showing up maybe. We'll see it in June reports and July reports is my guess. And then the question is, as we weaken, what do you do with all that? In the oil, we had a rally back to the 18-day average, and oil did rally strong today. Again, I think the market's got this wrong. We have one deal done. What about all the rest? And I know everybody's gone that if you can make one deal, you can make all 165. You got a long way to go with this. In stocks, going up with the general semiconductors, that I can see because the president wants to change the game on semiconductors. He's not going to take and just allow them all to be gone. He's going to go about it, in his viewpoint, a better way. In XLF, the financial sector, yeah, pretty strong, but you're up to the Bollinger Band. You were there before. You're embedded. I think the pros took off money actually up here, and I think they're looking to buy the market on a pullback. They want to see if the 100-day holds up, especially tomorrow. End of the week, do you take money off going into the weekend, that type of mentality. XLI, think of all the corporations that went up today on that sigh of relief that a deal is done. You went to the upper Bollinger Band. You did that the other day. You fell back and made the 100-day average and the 200. The combination, they're right here. You see those numbers? The support, you fell into that, and now you rallied to a new high. Trend is clearly up. I think the traders are buying and selling, and you keep pursuing that. In XLE, this is a trade I was wrong on, by the way. Yes, I get wrong. I thought this market would break down from here, not get back over these highs, and it did. I'm just plain wrong. In GLD, I'm right. You know, the market first news wouldn't be bullish gold. Have I not said that? So the moment you're going to get some good news, that's not going to help the gold market. I understand gold is looking for these tariffs to be inflationary. I didn't say gold is over. It fell back to regroup against the 18-day average. I always find it magical how markets come back to that number that I use as the line in the sand, and they like to go there and pause for a bit. You've been doing that in silver, going right through. You can get down to these two numbers. You'd have to do what to stay bullish? You cannot afford to make a lower low than the past 2 days. If you do, you break the bull pattern in the market. In the copper market, I think I've been adamant in saying that I'm just not accepting that what China has done for copper is bullish. We will see if maybe I get proven wrong, but you're overbought. You're against the 200-day average. I'd rather not be involved as a trader. In BND, you've turned the trend back down. And as I said, any deal's going to make it look as though, what recession? We're not going to be in a recession. Why do interest rates have to break it all? And they're adding back. Now, the question is, can the market follow through from here? It has been here, done this at this 218-day average before. It's got to prove itself now. In the dollar, this was all bullish, the dollar. Kicked the dollar right up into the upper Bollinger Band. And now it's looking to me like the market's going to head up in the dollar, at least, into the 101.5, 102 zone is a minimum. So I do think that 9,800 level, that fourth count, as I call it, a price count, held up in my dollar report. Now we'll see if the market can lift. The most I see on this rally is around the 105 area in that market. In FXE, obviously, if the dollar rallies, FXE due to drop. But I'll talk about this and a heck of a lot more tomorrow, first thing in the morning, in my SPDR ETF, my futures market videos, my subscriber videos. Join us. Give it a try. When you try it, I think you'll say, whoa, I see what he's doing. He's teaching. He's showing us where we're at, why these trades are where they're at. What he's got is an idea on it, the stops, profit objectives. We give an awful lot of information in the morning. In these videos, what you're getting is the generalities. You're not getting what I am telling my clients to do. IraEpstein.com research, combo package. Go up there, give it a click. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll catch up with you in the morning.